Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about adding background things and the sky. Background objects like planets or asteroids or all kinds of stuff. And I'm showing you kind of what I've got set up here, and we're going to go through how I added this stuff. Now there are two planet Earths in this video. One on the left has a little bit more detail than the one on the right. I think if you moved these things farther away from the camera, it would be it'd be harder to tell. But if you move it closer to the camera, this is what it can look like. And then you'll see I have a background of stars, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Before we do that, I'm going to try to move these planets a little bit farther away from the camera and see what they look like. Right there, and I don't know, right here. I guess I should move them the same distance away. 305. Let's do that. Let's see what they look like with that. So this is just giving you an idea of what they can look like. The one on the right has a bit less detail, like I said before. The one on the left has more detail. Both of the planets themselves, the sky rotates around. So the clouds are moving. You could probably turn the speed of it moving up or whatever, but alright, in this video we're going to be adding a background and adding some stars, and then possibly adding a bunch of different planets here. Alright, let's start with where can you get a lot of this stuff. Well, I went online and I searched, I just went to like Google and I searched textures. Let me see if I can get all the way back. I did planet textures, and then I just started clicking through the links and downloading different textures. You could definitely do the same. I went here, I looked at some that I liked, and I downloaded a few. I'm going to save you a little bit of trouble, but so what I did for you is I went ahead and picked the ones I liked, and I downloaded them into a zip, and I put them in Schoology. So you can download these and use those textures. I put them in a folder under what I called textures in my Godot. Textures, planets. Now in the planets one, I did put a couple of stars in there for you. There's so many pictures, you could find your own. I also added this folder for background, and I've got my two Earths here, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete this world environment so I can show you guys how to add those things, and I'll hide these two planets here. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do this. So download those textures, drop them in, and we can get started with doing this. Let's start off with the background. So under environment, I want you to add a world environment node and hit create. Over here on the side, it'll pop up, and it's got several different things. You're just going to hit new environment, open that up, and under background you want to select sky, and then under sky I want you to select new sky, and then the sky material you want to do is a panorama, new panorama sky material. And then you can click on that again, and it wants you to give it a picture to use. Go under your textures of what you just got there and drag and drop in either the Milky Way or the 2K stars. I'll drop in the Milky Way. So there's the Milky Way. Under my camera settings here, I had it on perspective. I think I had it on orthogonal before. If you play it with orthogonal view, it looks kind of strange. And I don't think you want to do that. Let's monkey around with some of these settings. While you have the game open, you can come over to the side, like kind of get your game on one side, and you can mess with settings while the game is actually playing. It should let you do it. Oh, it's not letting me pull that bar. There we go. I don't know if that's off the screen. Maybe I can put this under here. Sorry. Alright, I think you can do things like this. Zoom in and see what's happening. Put that back to normal. Oof, that is not what I wanted. You can also do this, mess around with that. And you can see what orthogonal to perspective would look like. So you can see your background and you can find one that you like. I don't know how helpful that is on perspective. Okay, but anyway, I did want to show you that while your game is playing, you can go and make changes to the background, and they should update as you're playing it so you can see what's happening. I think I'm going to leave mine on perspective mode. Pull back up my game here. I'm going to leave mine on perspective, something like that. I don't want to get too in the weeds right there for that. You will notice it made your aliens look a little bit different, and they fly a little bit different. That might have more to do with me messing with my camera perspective than anything. Hopefully it bounces over here on the side. Yeah, see, they're going a little far. But okay, so that's how you add the background. You can play around with different settings and make it look a little bit better or different. There's so many to do. You can also find different pictures for that. Okay, now let's work on adding a planet. I'm going to pull up a Blender project here, and I'm going to go through how I did this. It's really straightforward. I added 2 spheres. Alright, so I've got this sphere here. Let me move it around. And I've got this sphere here. So I've got 2 different spheres. One of them I called the surface, and one of them I called clouds. Now, in that pack of pictures that I gave you, not that one. Let me find it. Alright, planets. In that pack of pictures, one of those pictures says clouds transparent. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Right there. Earth cloud map transparent. That's the one you're going to want to use for the clouds. I think it might have to be PNG. I think I saved it as PNG in yours. So if you have one, make sure you're using the PNG version for this one. And then you can, on the other surface, you will use the other one. Okay, so how do you do that, Mr. Oversouls? All right, let me show you. Let's go back and put these on here. I can hide these two just to hide them. So what I'm going to do is Shift A, and I'm going to add a mesh UV sphere. Now this is the part for the detail. The lower detail you have, the obviously the lower resolution. You'll notice that the segments rings are about half as number of segments. So you could turn this up. The higher you turn it up, the slower things can run. But let's do 180 and let's do 90. I'm just doing that just because I've done it before and I want to see what it does. I'm going to call this this first one, I'll call this one the ground, or I don't know, ground. Yeah, let's do ground because I'll do different from what I had. And then I'm going to do everything again. I'm going to Shift A. I'll add another UV sphere. And I'll leave the settings the same. And this one I will call sky. On the sky sphere, I'm going to scale it up just a hair. I did 0.04. Okay. Now over here on your sky or your ground, whichever one you want to do first, let's do the ground first. Click on ground, go to the material, open and make a new material, hit base color, and you want to choose image texture. Under your image texture, you're going to want to hit open, and now you need to find the picture here. Mine is trying to save in my Godot already, so you're probably going to want to save yours in there too. I put it in the blends folder. So I'm going to choose the Earth 2K Earth day map. You can find that in that pack of stuff. And I'll click open. And there is my Earth. Now I'm going to hide this one. And I'll show the sky. And I'm going to basically repeat the process. I'll come over here to material and I will do... I need a new material, so maybe I have to hit this one. Add material slot. Yep, there we go. I'll click on this and I'll say new. I'll click on base color, and that's another image texture I'm going to use. And this time I'm going to open, and I want to use that transparent cloud right there. So I'll hit open, and hopefully it's loading. Doesn't look great so far. Why are you not looking good? Oh, I think... Did I load it on the wrong one? I did. I loaded it on the ground. Look at Mr. Soul. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this one. That's not what I want there. I want to do it on the sky. Make sure you're doing it on the right one, not like me. The good part is after you make a material, it saves it there. So now I have the ground, or I have the sky, and I have the ground. All right. Under the sky one here, you can adjust the alpha. Alpha just means how transparent it is, or being able to see through it. So if I turn both of these on, if I do the ground, it's right there, and it's on. But if I go to the sky and I start turning down the alpha of the sky, you will see that it starts to reveal the surface of the planet. Now, if you made your sky, the sphere for the sky too small, you could scale it up. You can play around with the different settings here. What I like to do is I'm going to go to the I made the animation player. I gave it more time. I did 1 to 6,000. You could do something different. I found that a larger number looked better rotating the sky. So I'm going to go to, let's do 3,000 this time. So I'm going to click on the sky. I'm going to go to the very first frame here, and I'm going to hover over the top of rotation, and I'm going to press I. That makes a keyframe for where it's currently at. I'm going to scroll to the end of my animation here. I'll go to 3,000. And this one is the Z axis you want to rotate, and I'll do 360 on the Z, and I'll press I again. So the first one I have here at 0, the last one I have at 360. So when I press play or space, you can see that the sky starts rotating. If you want it to rotate faster, you can make the animation shorter. So maybe you don't want it to be that long. I just found that more looked better. More frames looked better. There's 1,000 right there. Now in Godot, you can definitely turn it down. You can use the speed scale and turn it down on your own. You can play around with the different sizes for the sky. Get it closer to the surface. Farther away, that doesn't look so great. So it probably needs to be relatively close to the surface. Then if you want to see more of the Earth, you can turn down the alpha and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So something like that. I also noticed that turning the metallic up looked pretty decent too. But you can absolutely just play around with these and get the look that you're trying to get. Alright, now that we've got that, let me delete these other two because I don't want them showing up here. Okay, so we've made our animation. We've got this thing working. It's spinning. The clouds are good. They're fine. I can make it better. Or if you want different clouds, you can either draw your own or maybe find some different ones on a different day that they took from a different satellite view or angle or whatever. I don't even know. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save As. I have my other two here. I don't want to save those of the same one, so I'm going to do number 3, Earth 3. And I'm saving this in my Blender folder in Godot. So I'm going to hit Save. Let's go take a look at this and see what we've got here. Alright, I'm going to go take a look here. Let me move a couple of these things around. I'll go to Blends, Planets, Blend 3. I'm going to let me close these two. I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to drag and drop in my Earth number 3 here. Now this is not the one I want to use. I'm just getting it into Godot, so there it is. I'm going to click this little open scene. I'll say open anyway. I can check and make sure it's working right by just click and play. Looks like the sky's moving. That's fine. But here's how you actually save the scene. You get here, click on this top node here, right click and say copy. Then open another scene and do paste from clipboard. There you go. This one will cause you less problems than if you just try to drag and drop it in there. Alright, now I'm going to save this. So I'll do Control S. And I put it in a folder under Scenes and Planets. So I did Scenes, and then I made a folder in here for Planets. And I'm going to save this in here. The one that y'all are doing with me is Earth 3. So I will hit Save. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you the code to make this work. It's real simple. It's not complicated. I'm going to add a script to this. And the script I put in my obviously scripts folder, planets, and I called mine just earth.gd. Load. Now the script I used, this is something that Blender automatically called it, was clouds action. To verify your animation name is the same, just click on the animation player and look right there. Mine is different from that one. So clouds action, this one says sky action. So what I can do is I can just rename this clouds action. So now it's the same for both of them. Really for all three, because I made 3 different Earths. Okay, I now have the code for this. It's real simple here. Node 3D. Go to the animation player and play the clouds action. Save it. I'm going to close these other ones because I don't need them. Close and close. Okay, so now you want to make sure that you put the correct one into your test world. So go to test world. Alright. And you're going to go to, I made a folder for background stuff. Go to your scenes where you should have saved your Earth 3, and you can either drag and drop it in, or you can use the link. I'm just going to drag and drop it in, maybe if it lets me. There we go. Now I've got my Earth in there. I can move it around by dragging this like this. I could also use these right here. So let's do, yeah, -10's fine. I'm going to change the size. Let's do 50 for the scale. That's pretty big. It looks cool. I like it. And I'll just put it there. So now I have a giant planet in my game. Hit play. See if the clouds are moving back there. They are. They're moving pretty quick. So if I don't like that, if I think that's moving too fast for my liking, I don't have to go back to Blender. Let me show you what I can do. I can go. There's several things you can do. Let's click on the Earth scene here, and under the animation player, you've got the speed scale. You can turn that down. So now it's going to be playing slower. So let me play it again. Speed scales down, so it's moving still. You can see it. Let's see how well we can actually edit this. Remember when I was doing this earlier in the video, I was kind of rearranging stuff. So there it is. I don't know how well this is going to work. This is totally on the fly. Let's see what it does. Animation player. Let's turn the speed scale up. Looky there. I can do it while without turning it off and back on. It looks like repeat wasn't on. Oof. Is it going to work? No. Okay, so the code I used didn't have a repeat function. So you know what? I'll give you an added bonus. Let's add this repeat function in here. It's not that hard. Go to your scene. Click on Animation Player. Click Node. Click Signals. Animation Finished. Connect that to the top. Alright, when you do that, it's going to say, okay, when the animation finishes, this function is going to play. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and put that right there. Save. Alright, hopefully that didn't lose you. Let's find out let's play this again. We'll play our starting scene again. We'll put our planet over here on the side. And let's see if we can't get to the animation speed scale here. And we can now turn it down and see what that would look like if it was slow. And we can turn it up, figure out where we want it. This is something you could also program into your game if you wanted to. You could do all kinds of stuff, like maybe even moving it around the screen if you really wanted to. That's going to probably be done on your test world under your Earth here. That should be in the backgrounds. That means I could move this thing around while the game's playing. It could get closer, like maybe when you get spawned in, this Earth just moves right there. You can even change the size of the thing. Position X. Figure out where you want it. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.